Hi, this is Told. Welcome, and today we're looking at a little bit different of a tip video. Today we're looking at a tip on how to thin our deck for Slime Against Humanity. The main problem with Slime Against Humanity is drawing lands and not drawing a Slime Against Humanity. So, milling is quite destructive where you're hitting cards that you don't necessarily want to get put in your graveyard, and, you're hitting stuff that's not Slime Against Humanity. So it doesn't really help you. You mill 3 cards and one of those cards is a slime. So that mill is a waste of mana. And, it milled, land cards. You got 1 slime for 3 mana or 2 mana or whatever. And it didn't really help you at all. So we're running 18 lands, 18 slimes. And then we have 12 fetch cards to fetch lands out of our deck to pull them out so they're not going to be part of the draw. It lowers that percentage of chance of drawing a land. In the deck. So technically we have, 18 lands plus 12 cards that draw us cards. So we have like 30 lands technically in the deck. And then we're doing stuff like Gallagreators and the Fang of Shigeki to, give us that 1-drop, 2-drop part of our deck so that, we can protect ourselves a little bit from in the early game, and then also generate treasure tokens for the later game. And the later game we're looking at, the Juggernaut, being able to cast that, and now all of our slimes get +5/+5, and hopefully finish off the game once we get to 8 mana. And so that's the goal. So we do have the Analyze Pollen in there, so we can collect evidence 8, so then we can go and search for a creature card, so that we can go and search for the Juggernaut and get that in our hand. We can, remove plenty of Slime Against Humanity from our graveyard. We just need 3 of those in there, or, some combination to get up to 8. 6, 7, 8 is a Gallagreator if it's in the graveyard. So that's kind of my concept around this deck. Let's play some games and see how we do. I don't really do that in tip videos, but I really want to see the Juggernaut Slime popping off. We're going to prioritize the fight spell. And there we go. We have the 3 lands that we need. We got the Gallagreators. They're going to remove the Gallagreator, but what can you do? We'll be making a treasure token most likely. I don't know what they're playing, but I'm going to go for the treasure token. We got 2 Juggernauts again in our hand. Look for that other land. No attacks. So we're ramping up nicely. Yeah, land is not what I like to see. Now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn we can cast the Juggernaut. They just have that in their poison deck. I don't know why we're getting poison people. We'll start the train again. 5/3 Gallagreator, not too bad as well. We'll definitely go treasure. Think. We'll search for that land that we're looking for. Don't need to search for another Juggernaut because we have a backup Juggernaut in our hand. They'll probably, I don't know what they're gonna do. Block the Gallagreator. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's already done the damage that it needs to do. And our 3/3 slime is an 8/6 slime. So they're probably dead on their turn. It's really weird that they're just a poison deck. And now we have a bigger slime coming down that they have to deal with, where they just had to use 2 cards to kill it. So they're not going to be able to get us to 10 poison. We still have the 9 slime. I'll take no blocks on that. They're at 1. And we'll just Juggernaut again. So we have 3 lands in our starting hand, which is pretty crazy with 18 land deck. We don't really need more land, but you know what? I'm gonna go get it because I don't want to draw any more lands. I want to thin out the deck. Boros could be rough, but we got our Juggernaut. 4 lands, we'll have 5 if the Gallagher survives, 6 with another one. No blocks. We got our treasure token, I think. Now we have a blocker. I like the lifelink. I will trade for that lifelinker because the lifelinker is just going to get bigger. These are detectives. They're playing a detective deck, so it's not Boros Convoke, which is good for us. Now it's just a matter of ramping up to get enough slimes out there. So I think we take care of the lifelinker, because that's our main problem. No attacks. 4, 5, 6. We'll have 7 mana. If we draw a slime against humanity, we'll have 8 mana and we'll Juggernaut on the following turn. That's pretty good. Shigeki's okay. That gets us our treasure token. We can swing in with this guy. And, you know, not only do the slimes get a +5/+5, basically we'll be swinging in for 10 plus another 5, 25 next turn. We go down to 8. 7. So they're getting pretty close to killing us, but they're going to have to block us on our turn. The land is not ideal, but it's okay. I don't know if we just die, so we'll gain some life. So 15 with the slimes, and you know, they just had to block 1 guy. But then will they be able to draw enough cards to kill us next turn? I don't know. I don't know which way to go. It doesn't matter, I don't think. So they go down to 2. So they have to kill us on their turn. They need to draw 4 cards. Okay. We can pop up the Gallagher. So quite different look at the slimes. Looking good. Alright, and we're back. So wasn't that competitive, this deck. So I wanted to kind of discuss about, I went 3 and 4 on the ranked ladder. So I wanted to discuss some ways that I would go about making this deck a little bit more competitive after playing those 7 games. One of the things that I noticed is maybe 18 lands is a little bit too little. So I would go with a little bit more lands. And I think I would go with some surveil lands. You could do one, whatever color you have. Doesn't really matter. But the idea is that you can, surveil the top of your library and put, some slime into the graveyard if you have it. These are always pretty good. One of the other things I noticed is we drew too many juggernauts, so I would cut that back and I would put in something, some other creatures. So the Analyze the Pollen is a good card. We want to keep that card. And, the Thirsting Roots, I think we can go ahead and get rid of that one. The Proliferate isn't that great, and, just having a little bit too many of those. The Bushwhack I would still keep in. The Fang of Shigeki, not that great. To be honest, the Bushwhack is going to be good enough when you have your slimes out there. They'll be big enough to be able to take out some of the opponent's creatures. So I might go in and put the Maverick in there as a replacement for our 1-drop slot creature. So that way we could surveil too, and also gives you some benefit from the graveyard as well. So I would go ahead and swap those out. And then a couple other things that I noticed while I was playing. 18 slime seems like a little bit too many. So I would drop that down to 16. And then, I would like to go with a little bit more mana ramp as far as artifacts are concerned. Dealing with some of their flyers is a problem, and, sometimes enchantments or artifacts. So I would definitely bring in some Atraxas Fall to do that. Tribute of the World Tree to get some more card draw going, and then also, it pumps your little creatures when you have them. So that would be something I would look at bringing in. And then for protection, we kind of have 2 ways that we can go. We can go with the Safekeeping to get the life gain, or we can go with the Tyvar Stand to, utilize that mana. And I think I would go with the Tyvar Stand. Just, it's a 1 mana casting cost, hexproof thing. And then a couple other creatures that you could possibly bring in is the Caretaker, or the Elder. So, when you cast a creature spell, it's not that great. So I probably wouldn't put that in since you're not casting creature spells, but having a Caretaker in there might be a good way to finish off the game, because you're looking at these big ones you're looking at to search for. Another possibility would be bringing in the Nexus, because it looks at the power of your creature. So, as you get bigger and bigger slimes, this becomes cheaper and cheaper. The only problem with that is your guys are tokens, and so when they die, they don't get that reanimate effect. So I wouldn't put that in, but it is an option. The Westry is an option. It gives you the ability to get more lands out of your library, but we're at 63, so we're looking at trying to shrink back down to the 60 card limit. I do like the Galagreeders. So if we just take this out for right now and we say maybe we go with 3 of those, and we say the Caretaker's too slow. So we got our 2 cards that we can go and search for with the Analyze Pollen. We got the Dominus to double the power of our creatures until end of turn, and then we got the Juggernaut that we can find, and we got a little bit more mana ramp. Celestis is good. I like that one. I might even go with that over the Craig if you wanted to go with just 4 Mavericks in there. Just because you can discard cards. But I think I'm going to go with 3 Mavericks and the Craig is what I would go with. And yeah, so that should be pretty good. Let me refresh this. So that's how I would go about making this deck a little bit more competitive. We have a nice, a lot of low mana casting costs, creatures and spells. And then, we ramp into our 16 slime. And, that should be good enough. We got a little bit of interaction. It'd be even good if we can, try to squeeze this up 1. I don't know what you would take out. You don't really want to go down too many more lands. Ideally, you probably maybe even have 22 lands. But, yeah, that's how I would go about improving the deck. And, yeah, this has been Told. Like and subscribe. And I hope these tips help you out. And we'll see you in the next one.